Outer space isn't just a playground for billionaires anymore. It's now the most high-stakes battleground humanity has ever seen. And at the center of this cosmic chessboard is Elon Musk's Starlink, a commercial constellation that has redefined what it means to be a space power. Whether you think of Musk as a genius or a tech overlord, one thing is clear. His satellites aren't just floating above us, they're rewriting the rules of war on Earth. Now imagine this. Russia has just shot down a Starlink satellite. No warning, no denial. It's a deliberate, calculated strike. The world goes silent for a moment, and then all hell breaks loose. What happens next? Let's dissect it. Russia's shooting down of the Starlink satellite isn't sabotage alone. It's a cosmic middle finger. It sends a message that space, just like land, sea, air, and cyberspace, is an active battlefield. Sure, most people envision war as boots on the ground or missiles in the air, but the war might be 300 miles above us, in Earth's low orbit. Russia has the hardware to make this happen, and they've tested it before. Their so-called inspector satellites, like Cosmos 2499, 2519, and the infamous 2542/2543, aren't out there fixing space junk. They can maneuver with surgical precision, quietly approach another satellite, and either jam it, nudge it, or blow it to smithereens. Think James Bond in Zero Gravity. And if covert operations aren't their cup of tea, Russia has the muscle to flex on the battlefield as well. The A-235 Nudol missile, Moscow's anti-ballistic behemoth, isn't only for inbound nukes. It can blast satellites out of orbit like skeet targets. And there's the S-500 Prometheus, a surface-to-air system with enough altitude range to destroy targets in space. Russia has crafted a killing Swiss Army knife for space fighting. But here's the twist. Starlink is not even a military satellite, officially at least. It's commercial. It's the internet in the air. But on the battlefield, lines get fuzzy quickly. Since the conflict in Ukraine started, Starlink has been Ukraine's digital spine. When Russian missiles destroyed power lines and mobile towers, Starlink kept Ukrainian drones aloft, generals communicating, and civilians online. It became Ukraine's unseen war nervous system. That put Starlink in the crosshairs, a moving, rotating, global warming, sparking, Silicon Valley-connected target. So Russia shoots. One satellite crashes to Earth. The short-term effect? Technically, not much. Starlink is built like a hydra. You lose one head, and 20 others step in to replace it. With more than 5,000 satellites in orbit, Starlink is a self-healing swarm. One dead bird doesn't hush the chorus. But politically, the world just entered a whole new level of risk. Because destroying a satellite isn't the same as sinking a battleship or shooting down a spy plane. It leaves behind a cloud of orbital debris, a junkyard of metal whizzing around the planet at 28,000 kilometers per hour. A single fragment from a smashed satellite can cut through another like a hot knife through butter. The resulting cascade, known as the Kessler effect, could render sections of space unusable for decades. That's not only a problem for Elon Musk. That's a problem for anyone with a phone, GPS system, or weather forecast. So, how does the United States react? First, diplomacy. America convenes an emergency UN Security Council session. They come with evidence, label it a breach of world peace, and insist on sanctions. Russia vetoes them with its veto. But the PR harm is done. China, observing closely, does not like what it sees. India, hesitant but ambitious in space, edges away from Moscow. Russia's space credibility is deorbiting quicker than a satellite that has run out of fuel. Then the US retaliates, not with missiles, but with escalation. Ukraine receives new weapons shipments, drones with increased range, missiles that can penetrate deeper into Russian airspace. Electronic warfare systems are capable of jamming Russian radars from hundreds of miles away. The gloves are off. And Starlink? It shifts into overdrive. SpaceX ramps up launches. Hundreds more satellites were launched in the weeks. The network expands faster than Russia can shoot down. Elon Musk tweets a meme. It goes viral. Space becomes a meme war zone. But the genuine fear isn't one Starlink satellite. It's the question, what's next? If Russia gets bold, it may reach higher. What if they target an American early warning satellite? These are not simple communications devices. These are the backbone of America's nuclear defense. The SBIRS system can detect missile launches in real time. Blind it, and you blind the Pentagon. Now picture the American military watching a satellite become dark. An infrared eye in the sky was blinded. Accident? Technical malfunction? Or opening move in a nuclear game of chess? That's how you trigger DEFCON levels. Under global nuclear doctrine, not America's alone, but Russia's, China's, even India's, a temporary blackout of early warning systems can warrant a preemptive nuclear attack. Because if you can't detect incoming missiles, the best bet is they're already en route. This is the razor's edge we now tread. Let's back up for a second. Why would Russia do this in the first place? Easy. Frustration. Starlink has been a pain. It has enabled Ukraine to attack Russian targets with precision. It has preempted communication blackouts. It has enabled Ukrainian forces to coordinate over huge distances, even though they have been outnumbered and outgunned. Starlink flipped the script. It provided Ukraine with a digital slingshot against a Goliath. But there's a greater issue at stake. Starlink is not simply a Ukrainian property. It's international. It's servicing rural Alaska, remote Australia, disaster-stricken Haiti, and lonely ships at sea. Destroying a Starlink satellite doesn't just target Ukraine. It targets everyone. It's a signal that no satellite, however commercial, is secure. And here's where it gets creepy. If satellites can be shot at like tanks, then what are the rules? Is it war? Is it sabotage? Is it terrorism? International law is unclear. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty states that space is to be used for peaceful purposes, but it lacks enforcement. No fines, no jail, no star court. Space law is still developing, while space warfare is changing like a teenager on Red Bull. What comes next in the space race then? Militarization is on the horizon. The US will likely be in a hurry to arm its commercial assets. SpaceX will start launching satellites with defensive technology, laser jammers, maneuvering thrusters, perhaps even little guns. Yes, that's under development. NATO might pronounce that an attack on a member state satellite is an attack on all. Picture Article 5 in space. Meanwhile, Russia could double down, develop stealthier inspector satellites, advance directed energy weapons that fry electronics from afar, cyber attacks on ground control centers, false flag jamming operations to confuse attribution. And then there is China, watching, waiting, and learning. China also has plans for a mega constellation. If the US and Russia begin shooting at each other in orbit, China will join in with precision and intent. And unlike Russia, it has cash, momentum, and a booming private space industry. In this new, bold world, Starlink is more than an internet service provider. It's a strategic node, a floating fortress, a battlefield in the sky. Let's not overlook the human price, where Starlink is the sole link to the world. War zones, research stations, remote villages. The loss of one satellite can be the loss of communication, of education, of emergency response. Destroying it is not an attack on infrastructure, it's an attack on humanity's capacity for connection. The space industry's insurance sector is already shaking. With the threat of anti-satellite attacks looming large, satellite operators are demanding sky-high premiums or backing out of launches altogether. Lloyd's of London, a major space insurer, has hinted at rewriting its risk models entirely. If space becomes a shooting gallery, the cost of operating there may become prohibitive. This could spell disaster for satellite internet expansion, GPS reliability, and even basic climate monitoring. That's what makes this so terrifyingly real. The battle for space is no longer theoretical. It's not in science fiction novels. It's happening above our heads right now. Russia just turned a page. And the next chapter is being written in code: rocket fuel, orbital paths, and silence. So the next time you open an app, video call your family or use Google Maps, remember, someone, somewhere, might be watching your signal through a satellite scope, and someone else might be aiming to turn it into dust. In the new Cold War, there are no borders, just orbit lines. And in this war, the next shot might not echo. It might shimmer silently above the clouds. The question is no longer, what if Russia shoots down Starlink? It's, what if they already have? And what happens when the next one falls?